topic of today's bayan will be summarized in this one Quranic ayah. Inna shaytana lakum aduwwun fatakhidhuhu aduwwan. Allah Azza wa Jalla says in the Holy Quran that indeed the shaytan is an enemy for you all. So treat him as an enemy. So you see, we have such an enemy in the shaytan with whom there is no possibility of a truce. No possibility of a truce. Nor can you expect any good from the shaytan. Never. He is always in search of an opportunity to destroy you and destroy your hereafter. We must never be neglectful of such an enemy. You know, we had back in the day, you had Romans and you had the Egyptians and the rival armies that they had. Or you have Pakistan and India now. Are they ever forgetful of each other? Do they ever forget about each other? Are they ever heedless of each other? They're always ready, just in case one of them decides to fire a missile at the other. They're always ready, always. But we should be more ready than that when it's with those at the Shaytan. The Shaytan is our biggest and clear open enemy, Allah just says in the Holy Quran. No bigger enemy for mankind than the Shaytan. You see, in the time of Hujjatul Islam, Imam al-Ghazali rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, such a great personality, he wouldn't make his students memorize the Holy Quran. He never did hifz classes. He made his students learn the 66 attacks of the shaitan, the devil, instead. There was other classes to do hifz, but he made them memorize the 66 attacks of the shaitan from a book called Talbisul Iblis. See how that rhymes, that name? Talbisul Iblis. Do you know what it means? It means the deceptions or the attacks of the shaytan. And that's what he would teach his students in his classroom. And it's such a great personality teaching his students to make sure that they are aware. Make sure that they are aware of the attacks of the shaytan. How many do we know? Realistically, ask yourselves. Ask myself as well. How many attacks of the shaytan do I know? I know 1, 2, 3. Not 66. Not 66. But when we become aware of the shaitan's attacks, then we know where he's coming from, and then we can put a barrier or a shield up to try and stop him. Because that's our aim. We have to stop the shaitan. If we don't stop him, if we don't know what's going on, then what happens to us? I don't need to answer that question. And unfortunately, one man who didn't know the attacks of the shaitan, got taken away by the shaitan. It's a story, and it's a famous story. You've probably all heard of it. But you never had a name to that person. You never had a name. So at the time of Bani Israel, Isa and Islam's people, there was a man in a small village. He was called Barsisa. He was what you call a monk at the time, you could say. But he was a true Christian. So at that time, the Christians, they were true believers at the time, before there was distortions in the books. He believed in Tawheed and believed that Isa alayhi salam was a messenger of Allah. So one day, 3 brothers in the same little village, they decided to go for holy war, jihad. Yeah? But they had a sister. Now you're probably thinking, oh, I realize the story. And they did not want to leave her alone. So they came to Barsisa and asked him, because he's the most pious person in the village, can you look after our sister for us, please? Can you look after our sister? But straight away, Barsisa replied, no, because I know I will fall in fitna. I know I will do the wrong thing. So my answer straight away is no. My answer is no to your request, because it is the correct thing to do. So the 3 brothers, they left with their sister, and they were pondering, who can we give it to now? We want to go fight this war, but we don't know who to leave our sister to. There's no one as pious as Barsisa. We're in big trouble here. So Barsisa, he's thinking about the same thing. And he thinks to himself, you know what? If the woman goes to someone else who's not as good as me, then what happens to her? She might get raped, she might get kidnapped, she might get killed. I should probably take her in my house, or take her under my looking after us. What's the word, man? My care, that's it. Take her under my care, that's it. Take her under my care, That's what he was thinking. But little did he know, we know, but he didn't. This was a whisper from the Shaytaan in his heart. To take advantage of his kind-heartedness. And to take advantage of breaking the rules as well of Sharia. So he's thinking, I should go to them and actually say, yes, I'll look after your sister. So originally he goes to the three brothers again and he says, I will look after your sister. So he's in the church and there's a house nearby that's empty. I will put her inside the house and I'll give her food every day. I'll leave her outside the church and she can come and get it. So that was the plan. It seems okay now. Everything seems fine. The Shaytaan was happy at this moment because Barsisa's doing one thing that he wanted him to do. So this happens. And then Barsisa, he sat one day inside the church. He's left food outside the church. And he's thinking, well, hang on a minute. The woman, she's coming out by herself from out of the house towards the church, and everyone can see that she's by herself picking up the food tray. But little did he know this was another satanic whisper. And he's thinking, what can I do to make it easier for her? Because she's just a single woman, a young woman. What's she going to do if people see that she's single? People see that she's lonely, going to a house by herself. Anyone can do anything. So he thought to himself, or the Shaytaan gave him the idea, let's leave it outside her door. Just her door. So that's what he started doing. But the Shaytaan wasn't happy with this. The Shaytaan wasn't happy with this. So he was still sat there giving food in front of the door, and then he thought, hang on a minute. What if people still see her coming out of the door? They see her coming out of the door, and she picks the food up and puts it inside the house. They'll still see that she's lonely, it's just her, and this might take advantage of her. So what's a better idea that I could do? The Shaytaan put it inside his head. Maybe I should leave the food inside the house, on a table for example. So that's what Barsisa did. He then went to the house and put the food inside for her. Again, thinking that this was of his kind-hearted nature, this was his heart telling him to. But little did he know he's a Shaytaan, and this is the beginning of his downfall. You can see where it's going. So then the Shaytaan again, he's not happy. And he comes back into his mind again and says, why don't you just talk to her? I mean, come on. You're right there. She must be lonely. You know, her brothers are gone, her family's gone. It's just her in this room. And she's got no one to speak to. So, Barsisa says in his head, yeah, I think I should. I'll speak to her. You know, she might be. Want to see how she is? So they started speaking, but it was behind the wall, behind the porta. So they had to shout over each other. Behind the door. They had to shout and then they could hear each other and say, how are you? What's going on? Yeah? So then Barsisa, he had the Shaytaan return to him again. And then it was, well, why don't you talk to her face to face? You're doing it anyway, behind the door. Why not face to face now? So then Barsisa thought, chalo, it's a good idea. So then what happened? Barsisa goes, leaves the food on the table and starts talking to her face to face this time. And then a little before you know when a strange man and a strange woman, meaning men and women that can get married, are allowed to get married, but they're not. The third person in there, they say, is the Shaytaan. And what happens? You don't need me to tell you what happens next. Fornication, an illegitimate relationship, happened. So Barsisa, after this, he starts panicking. He goes, what have I done? What have I actually done? I've just fornicated with the three brothers' sister. And of course she'll tell him, what do I do now? He's already committed the act. But not the Shaytaan wasn't happy with just committing the act. It came back into his head. And you know what the Shaytaan said to him? He goes, Barsisa, inside his head, why don't you just kiss? That won't shut her up. And Barsisa thinking and contemplating inside his head. Little did he know he was satanic whisper, but this time he's just panicking. He doesn't know what to do. He's committed this sin. The three brothers come out, they'll probably murder him. If not, they'll take him to the king who'll murder him anyway. That's the punishment. So he's thinking, oh my God, what do I do? So then, at that spark of the moment, he kills the woman. But little did he know, I missed out a step actually, the woman was pregnant. The woman was pregnant. So there was proof that there was a baby. So before he killed the woman, let me go back a bit, I forgot this bit. So the woman gave birth. And then the birth of the baby is what? Proof. Proof that they had that illegitimate relationship. So the same Shaytaan came into his head, said, kill the baby. It's proof. What are you going to do otherwise? He had no other option. He thought, kill the baby and bury the baby inside the same house. And then the Shaytaan, not being happy with just killing the baby, not just committing the fornication, comes in to his mind again. The woman will not stay quiet about you killing the baby. The woman's not going to stay quiet with you killing the baby. What's wrong with you? Go and kill her. So Barsisa followed the command. Goes and kills the woman. And then buries her in the floor, underneath the ground, in that house. So what he thought was, now that I've actually killed the woman, the sister, and the baby, the proof is gone. Shaytaan came in. Now make a lie. What actually happened to the woman? Oh, she had an illness, unfortunately, and she passed away. We'll make the grave outside the church in her name. So he makes a fake grave. The brothers have come back victorious from the war, and they come to meet Barsisa. And they look dejected. They see Barsisa and they see a grave. And they exclaim, what happened? What happened to our sister? Barsisa goes, she fell severely ill, unfortunately, and she passed away. And this is the grave, just do your condolences and that's it. And I buried her. Yeah? So, this is what happened. The woman and the baby are buried inside the same house, but he made a fake grave outside the church. And the three brothers come there, they do their du'as, accepting the will of Allah, this happened, yeah? So then they move and they go to their house. And that night, whilst they were sleeping, one of them had a dream. And little did they know it was Shaytaan that made them have this dream. The dream said that Barsisa is lying. Barsisa is lying and the body is not in the grave. You go there, you dig up the grave, it's not there. The body is inside the house. So the brother woke up instantly from his dream and he was very angry. And then the other two brothers were awake. Just had a dream that Barsisa was lying, and the two brothers said, I had the exact same dream as well. So they march over to Barsisa's church. They look at the grave, tearing Barsisa off them, dig up the grave, and there's nothing there. Nothing there, and they are shocked. What is going on? The body is not there where it's claimed to be. So then they go inside the house with the Shaytaan holding in their head. What happens? They dig it up. They dig it up, and what's there? What is there? The woman and the baby. And now they report Barsisa. They're not going to kill him themselves because they're righteous people. They reported him to the king. And you know what? It's not finished here for Barsisa. There's still more to go. So he's reported to the king, and obviously he's ordered for death, hanging. So he comes for hanging. He's there. You know, they have the platform, and then they unlock the platform, so the ropes around his neck. And he's thinking, you know, what do I do now? I see I'm on death's door. What have I done? I've done as much as I can. The worst of the worst. I've killed two people. I've fornicated. What more sins can I possibly commit? And the Shaytaan appears one more time. One more time, he appears in front of him. Barsisa is crying out for help. He doesn't know what he can do in this situation. He's going to die. And the Shaytaan comes to Barsisa. Barsisa, I put you in this situation. It was me, the Shaytaan. I put you in this situation. And you know what? I can get you out if you want. I can get you out of this situation if you want. That's what the Shaytaan is saying to Barsisa. And Barsisa, at this time of panic, the last moments of his life, he goes, yes, please, anything, do anything, please. Help me, what should I do, what should I do? Shaytaan goes, you know, it's very simple. You know, if you want me to help you get you out of this, because I've got you in here. Bow down now. Do sujood to me. Prostrate to me. Barsisa instantly accepted. He goes, yes, I'll do anything, just get me out of it, please sort me out. The moment he bowed down, the Shaytaan looks at him. Obviously the Shaytaan does what he does. He runs away, but whilst running away that second, he goes, fear of the Lord is over you. I'm the Shaytaan, I fear the Lord of the world. I fear the Lord of all the world, and you don't. And then he ran away. At that moment, the platform went and he was gone. But Caesar was a person probably more pious than anyone watching this video or in the room here. And that's how the Shaytaan took him. The devil took him. This is how cunning the Shaytaan is. If the Shaytaan said straight away to Brother Caesar, commit shirk, bow down to me, they're not going to do that straight away. The stage and a plan. The stage is in a plan for that the Shaytaan does. There's another one, I'll tell you a little quick one. Someone asked the Shaytaan, why do you cause people to fight for? Why do you cause people to die? Why do you get fun out of it? Why do you get fun out of it? He goes, I do nothing. The Shaytaan goes, I do nothing. And he goes, watch. So he went to a sweet shop, you know, where they make like probably jalebi or something. He got some sugar syrup, put it on the wall. He goes, this is all I do, now watch. So the sugar syrup on the wall, a fly goes through it. And you know in Pakistan, there like insects and amphibians there. So the fly's there, and then a frog comes and eats that fly. And then a cat comes chasing that frog. And then a dog out of nowhere comes chasing that cat. You know what the dog does because it's big and bouncing around? It tips over the fryer onto a man's body. The guy's cooking it and he dies. And then the family members of that guy come running out to the owner of the dog and start killing him. What did the Shaytaan use? Just one little lick of syrup on the wall and watch everything tumble. That's how the Shaytaan works. How we should be aware of the Shaytaan. You know, everyone knows how lives the road, I assume. Or some, imagine, if you don't know, some big busy road where there's a lot of people, you go out there, let's say on a Friday night, for example, yeah? And in your wallet, somehow you've got, I don't know, £10 million, £1 billion, a check £1 billion from, I don't know, Bill Gates or something, yeah? And you're walking down Windsor Road with that check in your pocket. How often would you check that your money is there? Think about it. My money there. Is it still there? Is it still there? Every 10 seconds, let's be honest, yeah? Every 10 seconds, God, is my money there? Is my money there? Why are we not the same with the Shaytaan? Ask yourself, why are we not the same with the Shaytaan? Allah clearly states in the Holy Quran, He's an open enemy to us. He's the biggest enemy to mankind, and yet we care more about some money in our pocket than our iman against the Shaytaan. That's correct, yeah? Unfortunately, nowadays. Because our mindset is more money. I've explained this before. Our more mindset is money instead of what? Our deen. So that is how the Shaytaan can act the way he does. And I want to tell you another story. Inshallah. What time did we start? About the speech? 9 o'clock. So we've got 20 minutes to get. So one story about the Shaytaan, which will tell you like the beginning. So we all know the beginning of the Shaytaan, yeah? That he didn't bow down to Adam alayhi salam as Allah commanded him to. He thought that he was better than Adam alayhi salam, yes? He thought he was better than you because he was made of fire. He's better than mud, clay. So that was a hint of arrogance. Do you want to know what he was before that, Iblis? He was the teacher of all the angels. Iblis has such a high status, a high place, that he was the teacher of the angels, teachers of the main angels that we know as well. So what happened was, now I'm stuck between two different narrations, one that I got told by someone, one that I've read as well. One was that angel Jibreel alayhi salam was checking the Lawh Mahfuz, the sacred tablet, about what was happening in the world. Or the other one, the angel of death, Malak al-Maut. He was checking whose life am I supposed to take next. Yeah? And on there, the angel sees that a being that has done 80,000 years of worship will lose all that worship and die without iman. Die without iman. 80,000 years of worship and die without iman. And the angel started crying, severely crying, and went and told all the other angels. And all the angels started crying and crying and crying and crying. Like the scared was them. Please don't be me, they prayed. Please don't be me, please don't be me, please don't be me. So they went to their teacher, Iblis. And they said, yeah, Iblis, do dua for us. Like, this is not us. We don't want to be this person that Lawh Mahfuz is talking about. So Iblis did dua. He goes, may whatever's on the Lawh Mahfuz not be about you, Lord. not be about you angels. So you might think, oh, this dua's alright. What's wrong with this dua? What did he miss out? What is the one thing that we are told when we do dua for people? Don't forget yourself. You are not, the word is ma'soom, I think. You are not a person who doesn't require dua. You require dua at all times. So when we do dua, for example, Palestine and stuff, people say, oh, hopefully they're shaheed, may Allah grant them peace. Don't forget yourselves. Don't take for granted what you have now. You might not have peace. None of us feel inner peace. And you're praying for them and not yourself. You have to pray for yourself as well. And Iblis didn't pray for himself. Why? Because he thought he was better, a higher station. He was a teacher of the angels. He didn't need to pray for himself. He thought that this is not talking about me. It might be like you lot, but it's not about me. That's what he thought. And that's what we should think about when we do dua. Not that's what we shouldn't think, sorry, when we do dua. For Palestine, for Syria, for Burma, for places like these, for anyone, even other people. Something's happened to them. May Allah, a person passes away. May Allah forgive them, grant them Jannah in the hereafter, make it easy for them in the grave, and us all, including myself. Because we want the exact same thing. Do not think that is guaranteed for yourself. You have to do dua for that. So Iblis, he does that dua. And then what happens? The whole thing with Adam alayhi salam, because he was arrogant. And that was the first black dot on his heart. That sin, that pride, that arrogance. That he thought he was better than the rest of the angels. The Shaytaan, his biggest enemy was the nafs, the inner desires. That was his biggest enemy. And now who's his biggest friend? Who's his biggest friend? What is the thing inside us all that helps the Shaytaan? Our nafs, our inner desires. That's what helps the Shaytaan. So, some years after, I think it was Musa alayhi salam. He has a conversation with Shaytaan. And Shaytaan asked Musa alayhi salam, Musa alayhi salam, you have a good relationship with Allah, they speak. Can you ask Allah to forgive me? And I want to return to heaven. You might be surprised if the Shaytaan asked for this. He wants to return to heaven with his Lord Allah. So Musa alayhi salam, he goes to Allah and asks, Ya Allah, would you forgive the Shaytaan? Allah goes, yes. I'll forgive you the Shaytaan. But under one condition. He does what I commanded many years ago. He goes to Adam alayhi salam's grave and bows down. And he bows down and prostrates. And then he can come back into heaven and be in the same or heaven with Allah. So the Shaytaan, he meets him against Musa alayhi salam. You get an answer. Musa alayhi salam says yes. The answer is Allah will forgive you, but you have to do that thing which you didn't do many years ago. You have to go to the grave of Adam alayhi salam and prostrate to it. You know what the Shaytaan said? Now think about this, yeah? To go into heaven with Allah, to stop your eternity in the hell, to sort yourself out again, what does he reply? No. He replied, no. It could be so easy for us right now. We wouldn't have the Shaytaan against us. But he goes, no. Why? That same arrogance. I didn't bow down then. Why would I bow down now? What he said. And the Shaytaan is further to be first. He had the chance. Can you believe it? He had the chance? And he said no. And now we have a great enemy in Shaytaan. That was 2 stories of how the Shaytaan works. It is mind-blowing when you read the stories I've just told you. How he works and how he's in the position he's in today. Now moving on from the Shaytaan, because nowadays, yes, we do have the Shaytaan against us, but we are people as well. We are people against us. And one thing I want to make aware to people is their companions, their friends, the people that they hang around with. Now, I'm a witness to many people being with good company and bad company. I've been on the environment, I've seen people hang around with the right crowd, hang around with the wrong crowd. And I just want people to think, look at your friends, look at the companions you stay with, you hang around with, etc. See people looking at their friends. Look nicely, inshallah. So, you just think about your friends. Are they abiding by Islam? Are they abiding by Sharia? Are they following the commandments of Allah? Are they following the sunnahs of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Or are they going against Islam? Are they going against Sharia? Are they going against the commandments of Allah? Are they disobeying the blood of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? You have to realize what my friends are. And if most of your friends come out in a negative, then you've got to think to yourself, what am I doing? Because having good company, good friends, is a blessing from Allah. And to have bad company and bad friends is a punishment from Allah. So you've got to realize, firstly, you have to think and realize. The first step is realization. What are my friends? Is it a punishment from Allah or is it a blessing from Allah? Which one? Sometimes, look, you both might be in a bad spot. You three might be in a spot. The whole group might be in a bad spot. But you've got to work together to become more pious. Sometimes it has to be that you have to leave that group. Sometimes you can rise up together. Sometimes you have to leave it. It is hard. It is hard no matter what. I've had to leave, unfortunately, a couple of friends as well. You know, there's people you talk to every single day of your life. Every single day of your life. And then when you decide to become more pious, you see the distance growing. And you think, why? Why? Now, the other person doesn't think why, but you think, why? What's going on? And then you'll see maybe a Facebook post, or an Instagram post, or Twitter post, or Snapchat, whatever, and you see them like they're out. You'll be like, man, I want to be with them right now. I want to be with their, you know, they've gone out for a meal, or they've gone wherever, out to a club, or whatever. And you think, I want to be there. But realize who are your companions. It's not those people committing sins. When you choose the path of Allah, it's the angels who are your companions. Who would you want? Bob, Dom, Tim, or the angels? Who would you want? Realistically, the angels. Of course, you want the companionship of Allah, not people who are just dragging you down towards hell to you. So think. And one thing I want to make aware to people is realize, have I had a pious friend before? Have I had a pious friend before? An Islamic friend? Did they leave my circle? Did they grow distant away from me? Why? Why did they grow distant away from me? Am I that person who's the punishment for them, and now that they've been saved from me? Realize, I used to speak to people on a daily basis. Now it's WhatsApp once a week, twice a week, once a month. You got to think, you know. Now, I'm not saying look, I'm a pious person, but I'm trying to go towards more Islam. I study in Jamia, but I speak to many people on a daily basis. But the people that I'm specifically talking about, you grow a distance. Why? Allah will keep you away from them because they're not good for you. And they've got to think themselves and realize, do I have any pious people with me? If not, then what am I doing? You know, I've had arguments. Let's say, for example, there's two friends. You know, they were doing the same thing. They have an argument, stop being friends, one's going to be more pious, and his whole friend circle is going to be more pious, while they're still doing the dodgy stuff that they want to be doing. You got to think, has the other friend group, have they got more pious or not? And then you got to realize, is this the reason why we had that fight? Even though it might be on something very small, but the reason you separated, because Allah will just save him from you. Why do you need to be a person that someone needs to be saved from? That's not how it should be. We should follow the sunnah of the Prophet Habib, follow the ways of the companions of Allah, and be brothers to each other. Yes, people have a hard time, and it is the more pious people's job to try and bring them with them. But if they don't respond, if you try and help someone and they don't want to be helped, then how can someone help them? How can someone help them if they don't want to be helped? It's impossible. I know personal people where it's such a struggle to try and help them, but they don't want to be helped themselves. And it is the same with Absorski. It's a sad matter. And it's the state of today's day and age. And this is why Obviously, one of my intentions is to try and get as many youth as possible to come back into the masjid. You don't know when you're going to die. The other week, again, another young man dies in a car crash. You don't have to tell me like we see Blackburn, Bradford, you know what I mean? It's the usual. Another young lad, I think he was 21, passed away. I'm 23. Yes, sometimes I drive like a maniac, I'll be honest. But I obviously try and keep in the limits, and I'm not going to go 100 miles an hour on 20 mile an hour zone, you know what I mean? But you see this happening everywhere. You don't know when death is going to come. We have to realize we have to be obedient to Allah. If we're taken away in that moment, we're not ready. We're not ready. Have we even been trying to obey Allah? Imagine going on the day of judgment and you died at 21 of a car crash and you thought, oh, you know, when I'm older, I'll become more Islamic inshallah. But you go to Allah and say, oh, I had a niyat in the future. And Allah will say, well, the future was never guaranteed for you. Why did you make such a stupid choice? And then what are you left with? We could go into the descriptions of hell. Well, that's not something I'll leave that maybe to another day or so. Because the descriptions of hell, or even Judgment Day, is very scary. And I'll say one thing. You know, on Judgment Day, because everyone will feel that they don't have enough good deeds. You know your mother, how you do anything for your mother. You'd never go against your mother. But on the day of judgment, and this is the truth, on the day of judgment, sons will go against their mothers and say, you caused me to do this. I'm taking your good deeds because you caused me to do this. Why? Why would people do that? You think this is impossible in our heads right now. Why the heck would I do that to my mother? Because that's how scary the day of judgment is. Not even the hellfire, just the day of judgment. That's how scary it is. So realize how scary and how afraid we should be of this day. And sort yourselves out. That's the main point. Sort ourselves out. Start obeying Allah. When you start obeying Allah, who are your companions, the angels? Before the Sunnah of Rasulullah, you find peace in your life, and yet people are still distracted away from us. You want to go towards heaven, it's not going to be easy. And people, they suffer hardships. Sometimes it brings them towards Islam, which is a good thing. They hit, you could say, rock bottom. I've had that one. How do you think I'm here starting today? You hit a rock. You realize that, hang on a minute, Allah is my Lord. What have I been doing? It's a good thing that this has come now, so that I can turn my life around and not waste it. Let me learn what's fallen upon me to know. Let me read my namaz 5 times a day. Let me obey Allah, and then inshallah we'll go to Jannah together, because Allah will forgive you upon His slaves. And because we are the ummatis of Rasulullah who has guaranteed shafaat for us if we follow His way. So that's the message for today.